All right, everyone. Welcome to the weekend edition of Simply Bitcoin, where we break down the news from Twitter, the Daily Fail, the meme review, software releases, and the websites by plebes. All right, guys, let's kick it off with the numbers. Here we go.
Log Moody dashboard.
Current block height, 668,379. Current Bitcoin price, 34,315. Chain rewrite days, 601. Total lightning capacity, 1,058.23 BTC. Bitcoin versus gold market cap, 5.29%.
Man,
Yep.
it's good.
No Satoshi.
It's good consolidation, but unfortunately, no Satoshi the Bitcoin chicken. For anyone who's new to the channel, he only collects when the price of Bitcoin reaches an all-time high, which is not today. So you guys are going to have to wait, but it's coming very soon. Phil, it's time for the Daily Fail.
The Daily Fail. So, everybody's still hyped up about what's going on with the GameStop stuff. So I figured, all right, Sawala posted this, which I thought was pretty funny. And obviously I shouldn't say obviously, but the Daily Fail is just, stocks in general. But okay, here we go. GME stock rises over 1,000% after reports suggest a critical flaw in derivatives called double spend, whereby 138% of stock shorted. So very clever, very well done. And yes, that could be very well seen as a double spend. So a total fail because more shares were shorted than actually exist, which I don't understand how that's even possible, how it would even be allowed, how a bunch of people agreed on this and thought that it made sense. I mean, of course it made sense to them so that they can profit, but why would that make sense for everyone? That's just horribly stupid. And obviously shows how artificial, everything is. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Absolutely.
They took on infinite leverage and they lost, and Melvin ate it. So anyways.
Absolutely, dude. It's a clear-cut case of, rules for thee, but not for me.
Yep.
Because normal people couldn't do that, but they can, because they're in this privileged elite tower that's, getting destroyed right now by a bunch of Redditors and eventually Bitcoiners, right? So, they are our brothers in arms, Phil?
You know what? If us little retail guys can eat our losses regularly, I think these big boys can eat their losses. They should be able. They should be able to eat that shit way better than any of us being able to, having all that extra padding around them.
You're exactly right, man, and they deserve it. They deserve it. These are the guys that destroyed the housing market in 2008, almost brought down the world economy, and then made Main Street bail them out. They did it. None of them went to jail. No accountability. No nothing.
Slaps on the wrist.
Yeah,
it totally. Cost of doing business. All of it was cost of doing business.
100%. And now
we all footed the bill.
Exactly right. And now what? Now they're crying foul when we figured out how to beat them at their own rigged system. Man, F these guys. F these guys.
It's not fair if people cooperate. Only we're allowed to cooperate to take money from retailers. Like, are you kidding me? Anyways,
it's such a scam. And there's the ex-Treasury something was like going on CNBC calling that movement like basically the same as the attack on the Capitol. Calling them domestic terror. It's like are you? The disconnect here is insane. Phil, it's time for
the Daily Meme Review.
All right, everybody. The meme for today is brought to us by @TMSBTC, and let's check it out. Tesla's mission, Elon Musk, climate, alarmist, environmentalist, SJWs, and a Trojan horse with Bitcoiners hidden inside. Clever meme. Didn't make me laugh, but the messaging was so solid. Phil, I'm going to give that a solid 9. What about you?
You know what? I was thinking 9, but then I liked it so much that I gave it a 9.8. Very close to perfection, just because I didn't laugh. I have to agree with you. At first I didn't think the laughing was really that important, but it's kind of grown on me. And it is very important that it makes me laugh. But still, why did you give it a 9?
It didn't make me laugh.
That was it?
Yeah, it didn't make me
Nothing
laugh.
else.
The messaging was perfect. It was clever. It was on point. That Trojan horse thing is it's a very common meme, but I love how he implemented it. I thought it was very good. What about you?
Not like our scale is official or anything like that, but you took away a whole point. I took away 0.2 of a point for him not making me laugh. We've got no scale. There's no scale. But anyways, so look, for me, what I liked about it, right, is so it's very clever. You know, you've got the Bitcoiners in there, you've got Elon Musk, and of course, you know, you've got the environmental alarmists. So, you know, like the environment obviously is a very hot topic, all that crap, you know, like even they started brainwashing us with this crap back in the 80s, okay, with like not using hairspray and stuff like that. Or you're gonna end up like me, you know, like it's like it all just disappears because of it. But look, you know, now at this point, everyone's thoroughly brainwashed. We need to kill ourselves to save the earth, or at the very least, we need to pay taxes, because if you pay, it saves the earth. Every time you pay for some kind of like environmental, it just saves the earth. You just got to pay a tax for it. You want to drive that, just pay the tax. Anyways, I don't know how that works, but somebody's figured it out, right?
This is why I call us the yin and yang, because you got this deep wisdom, and I'm like,
But like I just think it's great because it brings all these environmentalist people in. Like at the very least, even if they don't understand it, they would go buy it and be like, "What the fuck?" And now all of a sudden, they're looking at a Bitcoin logo. So
it was great. It was good. Yeah, it was good.
Well
Not perfect, no laughs. Anyway, the next meme is brought to us by another fellow pleb, the legendary pirate Beach Bum. Let's check it out. See, of course, our fellow Wall Street Bets guys are our brothers in arms, and they will soon come to Bitcoin and take the orange pill. Let's check it out. Literally nobody, meme lords on Reddit, eating Cheetos in their parents' basement. I think this is from the movie Captain Phillips. Look at me. I am the hedge fund manager now. Oh my God. Dude, excellent meme. Made me laugh. Messaging was on point. Fellow Wall Street Bet meme. Love it. I'm going to give that a 9.5. What about you, Phil?
I think you and I we're both on par with this one. I'm going with the solid 9.5.
9.5.
Yep. It was good laughs. So why the 9.5 for you?
The source material, incredible. That was a great movie, and it's what you said about that Forrest Gump. It's one of those scenes that's like literally marked in your head for the rest of your life, and it's so good for a meme. Gets the messaging across, makes you laugh. I think it's an overall great meme. What about you?
Yeah, I definitely enjoyed it. I have to admit though, I did have to read it twice. So that to me is pretty much why it only got the 9.5. But when I did read it the second time, it was, you know, obviously really funny, and I enjoyed it a lot. And that scene is so like, I mean, don't get me wrong, but that meme has been used, you know, everywhere. Everyone knows it. So at the very least, it's one of those things where you'll end up reading it just because it's so familiar. And now you've just been tuned to Bitcoin.
Absolutely. It's an iconic meme. It's iconic meme it's not an iconic meme. It's an iconic scene that became a meme.
Yes.
Excellent material. Phil, that being said, it's time for
the Daily News, sponsored by Crypto Cloaks.
All right, everybody. Today is the weekend edition of Simply Bitcoin. Usually, you know, there's not that much news, but there's plenty of news. This was a crazy week. Let's check it out. India plans to introduce a law to ban Bitcoin and other private cryptocurrencies. You guys remember earlier on this year, they already did this, right? There was some type of law that was repealed by the Supreme Court. Well, it looks like now they're trying to make Bitcoin illegal through the legislative branch. And Peter McCormack, or Pedro, has a really good observation. Oh, what the hell just happened? There we go. Peter McCormack has a very good observation from the government, which wiped out 86% of their currencies. Of course, he's referencing when India made large denomination bills illegal, you know, because a lot of people weren't paying their taxes. And it looks like they're trying to do the same thing with Bitcoin. Man, they are going to fail. They're going to fail utterly. You can't ban something that's completely decentralized unless you just want to ban the internet, right? And then at that point, it just puts you at a severe disadvantage disadvantage because countries that allow Bitcoin, that make it openly legal, right, are just going to get ahead of the curve. And here's a great example by documenting Bitcoin, just pointing out two contrasting articles. Pakistan is now using government funds to mine Bitcoin, and India proposes cryptocurrency ban. So what happens to Pakistan when their neighboring country makes Bitcoin illegal? The incentives of Bitcoin are so strong, and they're playing on human emotion, on greed, that, man, it's just this black hole of incentives of greed that, man, if you make Bitcoin illegal, first of all, it's not going to work. You're just going to put the market underground. You're just going to force it underground. And second of all, you're just putting yourselves at a severe disadvantage to other countries that don't make it illegal. And there's already been reported that the countries that have made Bitcoin illegal, what has happened to the peer-to-peer market and the transactions in that country, they've actually increased. This happened in Venezuela when they made Bitcoin illegal, when they made Bitcoin mining illegal. It just forced the Bitcoin economy underground. It didn't go anywhere. It's impossible to enforce, making Bitcoin illegal. Gold is one thing, right? Because gold is this huge physical gold bar that they could search you for. But what are they going to do? Start searching everybody for a 24-word seed? It's literally stupid. They can't do it. And, but it's entertaining to watch, and it just gives us a bunch of news to report on Simply Bitcoin. Smash that like button. Phil, what are your thoughts on India making Bitcoin illegal?
I'm thinking roll out the FUD machine. I mean, look, India, how many times have they banned Bitcoin now at this point? They can't, it's like a switch that they can't, they ban it, they unban it, and they ban it and they unban it. I honestly, they kind of remind me of China back in 2017. You'd have Bitcoin go and break 5K and boom, China FUD, or, cue the China FUD. Oh, we're banning Bitcoin, and bang, we pull back to like 3K, and then all of a sudden we'd start a slow climb up again, and then they'd start to change the news, maybe we're going to look at it again, and bang, you get a spike up, and then, oh, you know what, we're going to ban it again. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't really care if India bans it. I mean, look, if a country decides to ban Bitcoin, what they do is they say, I'm excluding this country from the prospects and value that Bitcoin bring. I'm deciding that, okay, we're going to make it more difficult, right, for this country to be able to obviously accumulate and use Bitcoin, but they're excluding them from the Bitcoin economy, which is growing. So, all right, have fun.
And, unfortunately, not the Indian people, but the Indian government is going to have fun. Stay cool. Phil, let's move on to the next piece of news. It is brought to us by, you were speaking of switches. Well, Mark Cuban is a switch because he switches from right to left, left to right. And he's like, I don't like Bitcoin. I like Bitcoin. I don't know. The upside is truly unlimited. And this, of course, is coming from him calling Bitcoin. He would rather own bananas than Bitcoin, right? So what the hell is this guy doing? He's an idiot.
So what happened now?
Apparently, now he thinks that Bitcoin has no upside. It's truly unlimited. It could go to the moon. Yes, we've been saying that for a while, but he has to save face. He has to save face because if he doesn't change his tune, the last video people are going to remember is him saying he'd rather own bananas than Bitcoin. This guy is a total loser. Speaking of another billionaire that also changed their tune on Bitcoin, this was kind of a big deal. Everyone was focused on Elon, but Ray Dalio, which founded one of the largest hedge funds in the world, if not the largest, basically wrote a whole piece on his Bridgewater website, which is the name of his hedge fund, saying, I'm writing this to clarify what I think of Bitcoin. And he goes on to call it one of the best innovations that he's ever seen. Again, this is contrary to all his previous points on Bitcoin. He disliked Bitcoin. He wasn't a big fan of Bitcoin. So you're starting to see a pattern here, right? All these billionaires are exactly what you said. They're starting to switch. They're pulling the China banning on Bitcoin. They're just like, yeah, I like it. I don't like it. Now they're saying I like it. Why do they say I like it? Because they have to. They have no choice at this point. When you see public companies buying reserves of Bitcoin, you see huge insurance companies, you see Harvard, you see Ivy League colleges buying into Bitcoin, you see NASDAQ companies buying into Bitcoin, Square, and those companies are outperforming the market by magnitudes of 5 or 10. you kind of have to say something positive about the orange bill. You have no choice at that point. Phil, what are your thoughts on Mark Cuban, the Banana Man, and Ray Dalio?
Okay, so the Cubes is a hypocrite, okay? Because back in 2017, 2018, he was one of the primary investors, along with Ashton Kutcher and some other people, in a shitcoin called Unicoin Gold, okay? Which is, I don't even think traded anymore. It doesn't even really exist anymore. I mean, it's one of those zombie shitcoins, okay? So he constantly switches back and forth, and lately he's been all anti-Bitcoin, right? And now all of a sudden, its upside is truly unlimited. You know what? I don't really know how anybody can take this person seriously. The fact that they report on these people as like, you know, giving them any kind of credibility is what's really sad. He just has terrible takes on Bitcoin.
I'd rather have bananas. I can eat bananas. Crypto, not so much. Look, I can make a great argument for blockchain. There's a lot of applications and they'll be used, but you don't need public Bitcoin, BTC.
He's had terrible takes on Bitcoin for a very long time, and it's just sad. For Ray Dalio, though, I mean, yes, of course, you know, he's switching his tune, but Ray Dalio, I feel as though he had stated in the past that he doesn't know enough about Bitcoin. Like he's more, it's not necessarily, I mean, he's more open-minded, but it's more, you know, it's one of those people that is like willing to, once all the information is in front of them, is willing to then pivot if that is the course that is required, you know? So I kind of take his pivot with a little less, like, it's like, I appreciate him pivoting kind of thing. Whereas Mark Cuban, I'm like, you can go screw yourself, bud. You know, it's like Ray Dalio. We're like happy to have him on board. He's an asset, but like Cubes can go back and do nothing. He's perfect at that. Just go back and do nothing, bud.
You're absolutely right, and it's just man, it's just funny to see everyone just getting on the orange train. It's glorious. Us Bitcoiners have been calling it for the longest time, right? The last level is the nation states. We already see Miami, kind of taking that first step. Let's see if other countries will follow.
Who's the first country?
We think they will on Simply Bitcoin. You heard it here first. No, we didn't say it first. But
no, we didn't say it first.
If this is the first time you heard it, you heard it first from Simply Bitcoin. I think we're gonna give the credit to 100 trillion, whatever on Twitter. I think he was one of the first people to say it. So we'll give credit where credit is due. Anyways, Phil, it's time for
Websites by Plebes. All right, one of our huge fans, DVTBTC, brought up this website, bitcoinhodler.io, and I want to make sure that I get the name right. Okay, it's this site's actually by Miguel Medeiros, so shout out to him for doing this, fellow Bitcoin plebe. What would happen if you had invested $10 in Bitcoin weekly? And this is a cool little site that he's got going to kind of show you, if you didn't buy Bitcoin, how much of a fail you are, and what you're missing and what you've missed out on. So good for him. You know, he's kind of increasing the salt out there. So you can go there and see what you missed out on, and hopefully it'll inspire you to stack.
Such a
but
cool
shout out to him, man. That's a great site. I love it. You know, I love to see the plebes building, man. It's great. Sorry, the plebs. You know, I got called out last night on that show. You know, they call it plebes. It's plebs.
I like saying I like saying plebes. What does it matter? What does it matter?
Is there an official anything?
The official regulatory body of the plebs.
Yeah, I want to see it. I want to see the documentation.
You're gonna get a letter in the mail. Anyways, so guys,
that'll be in the show notes down below.
Awesome, thank you, Phil. Today we just talked over each other. That's how excited we are for the weekend edition of Simply Bitcoin. Anyways, guys, we hope you enjoyed the show. If you really did, it would really help us tremendously if you smash that like button, and of course, if you love the show, subscribe, and we will see you on Tuesday for another episode of Simply Bitcoin.